Hey everybody, it's Chad Campbell, certified functional medicine provider with Redesign U. Um, I just got done with clinic and I wanted to take some time with everybody tonight and kind of go through some of this about this COVID-19 and this coronavirus. I don't want to get into all of the scientific stuff, and if you want to know all about the history of it and the different things that are being tried, go ahead and check it all out online and Google it and you'll find it. What I wanted to do is tell you what we're going through. You know, I'm doing conventional medicine as well as functional medicine, and been doing conventional medicine for 23 years. And I've never experienced anything like this before. I was gone actually last week on a cruise, believe it or not, and got back Saturday and been doing wonderful. But when I came back to chaos, you know, I mean, just straight chaos. And I have been engulfed in studying and learning about COVID-19, the progress of it, the epidemiology of it, everything that is happening with this, and trying to figure out what to do with our office. I run a very busy family practice of over 6,000 patients, 5 providers, and I've had to make decisions on what type of protocols are we going to use, how are we going to take care of our patients, and that's what's keeping us going, keeping us up all night long right now, is how do we continue to provide medical care in the midst of all of this? And it's very hard. I've been in meetings all week, emergency meetings, having to change things. The reason I say all that is because when I've been watching many of the research and the webinars and all this kind of stuff about going on, I'm hearing all of these recommendations as far as, hey, we should do this, we should take that. News channels saying that this is right, and that's wrong, and not knowing what to do, what not to do, and putting different experts to say different things. You know, it's kind of like, how do experts of a virus all disagree and have different opinions? And so it's very chaotic. And the big quote that keeps coming up is fact over fear. Fact over fear. And I'm not getting political. I'm not going there. That's up for everybody else to decide. But facts over fear. And that's what I've been engulfed in, is trying to figure out the facts. So I wanted to break it down and make this very simple. And I'm hoping that if everybody's wanting, that I'll come back in a couple of days and I'll bring you back an update of what's happening, so that you know what you can do, realistically what you can do to help yourself and your loved ones in trying to prevent this possible infection that could be disruptive to your life. When I'm designing all these protocols for my office, what we're doing is keeping anybody who has these type of symptoms separate. Backdoor entrance, gloves, masks. We're wearing gloves, masks. You have to also use gowns and stuff if there's anybody that you feel may have it that you're going to end up testing. The problem with this is that we don't have it. We don't have all the gowns and the masks and gloves. We don't have all that stuff. So we can't get it. It's like trying to get toilet paper. Nobody has it. So how do you prevent it? How do you follow the protocols if you don't have the stuff? And so you have to be very choosy and very picky on what you're using. So this is just the same thing with our lives right now. The way that I've asked my staff to think about this is, if your 80-year-old grandmother with heart disease is standing right next to you, where are you going to take her? And what are you going to do with her right there beside of you? Because the way that this virus is going, and so far, the concerned transmission is not for the healthy adult less than 60 years old. It's for those who are elderly, for those with heart disease, and for those who are immunocompromised, meaning they are on certain medications to suppress their immune system, cancer patients, people on steroids, um, things like that. And so it's not about us not getting it. It's about us not transmitting it. That's the big thing. So when we see this, now we see two different thought processes that people are taking. Why aren't you going to test me so that I know if I have it or not? Well, what are we going to do different with you if you have it? If you have a virus or a sickness or this illness right now, you should isolate yourself. You should stay home. Now that doesn't always work financially, because we also have the economical part of this. How do we all not lose our jobs, and how do we not go bankrupt during all of this? I have very good friends in my town that own restaurants, and they don't even understand how they're not going to go bankrupt if they close all of these restaurants. So if you have it, what are you going to do about it? They did a study in Science Journal, I believe it is, and they showed that 70-some percent, 79%, I believe, of the cases in China would have been prevented if the people had been tested and isolated if they know that they had it. 66% in Wuhan. So does that mean we get testing everybody? We don't have the tests. It's all over the news that go get tested. You can get tested now. You can get tested now. You can't. We don't have the tests. The local hospitals don't have the tests. One of the lab companies that we use told us they will give us 5 tests per week. How do you choose who to choose 5 tests on? So we don't even have the testing. So that's why when we think about all this kind of stuff and all of this chaos that's going on and all of this anxiety that's going on, is what can you do about it for yourself and for your family? What can you do to prevent transmitting it? What can you do to know that if you do have it, you're not going to give it to that 80-year-old grandmother that's not going to survive from it? Because when people tell you it's going to happen this way, these are the things that are going to happen, nobody knows. Nobody knows. We don't understand it. Supplements, I'm not recommending hardly any supplements at all. The most important thing you can do is eat right. Don't overindulge in sugar and caffeine, because through these times we get very stressed. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? It's this anxiety type of thing. And when that happens, we crave sugar and we crave caffeine. And both of those things will create inflammation in us. They can make us more susceptible to getting infections. They'll make us do good in the beginning, but then over time, it's going to make us more susceptible. You'll hear people out there saying increasing high doses of vitamin A. Others saying they've shown vitamin A is increasing the virus in people, increasing COVID-19. Elderberry is one of my favorite things that I use always during sick season and flu season. Elderberry is showing it's increasing what's called the cytokine storm. It's increasing the virus and the virus's complications as well. Motrin, increasing ibuprofen, possibly increasing the virus's complications as well. So a healthy diet, eating good. Try not to fall into the stressful eating that we do. Try to avoid the overload of sugar, the overload of caffeine. Eat regularly. The most important thing, which I suck at, sleeping. Getting enough sleep, going to bed at a good time and getting up so that your body's able to recover so that you can do that again the next day. Vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc have all been shown to help with this. But beyond that, I can't tell you because people don't know. A lot of people are putting books out there in these packs to buy to help you through this. Please don't fall into this. We don't know. People don't know. They don't understand what's happening with this. We need to go back to the basics, back to the foundations. Healthy diet, sleep, relaxation, avoiding overstimulation. Go back to that. And then let's build up off of that. Let's watch what happens with this virus over the next couple weeks, over the next couple days, I'm sorry. Let's see where it takes us. And then we can maybe add a couple more things to help us to get better even faster, to see what we can do to help ourselves in the prevention of this. I don't know where this is going. I don't know. I was one that was kind of laid back with this, and I still pretty much am laid back with this. But I think that what we have to do is common sense. We have to take common sense, keeping our hands away from our face, arm, and you're sneezing or you're coughing. The 6-foot rule with people. The handshake. I'm a high five guy, man. Like, I love to just high five everybody that I see. And I am struggling not to high five people. It is funny because I'll go to do it, people will see me, and then it's kind of like, all right, what do we do? Do we high five each other or do we elbow each other? What do we do? But again, if my 70-year-old grandmother was the next person I would touch, or my 80-year-old grandmother, the next person I would touch, I'm not going to high five them right now. It's not being paranoid. It's thinking about, what can I do to reduce the risks of me transmitting this to somebody else? So please don't get caught up in all of the possible ideas. Don't get caught up in these different supplements might work, these different supplements. I am a functional medicine provider. I am integrative medicine. I did a 2-year fellowship in integrative medicine. I do herbs, supplements, botanicals, finding the core root of the problem, the biochemistry, following the pathways, what's actually happening here. That's what I do. And I'm asking you, please, don't get caught up in that stuff with the supplements right now. Go to your foundation, the foundation of your diet, your food, your sleep, your relaxation, your vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc. Think about those things. And that will help give you a good base and foundation so that we can be able to continue to build off of that as we know more and more. There's all kinds of medications that they're trying right now. There's all kinds of stuff that they say this might work, that might work, but still nobody knows. If they did, it would have stopped. If it did, they would be using those medications. So I would love for us all to stay very positive with this, despite what we're seeing around us. This morning, I was in an emergency meeting with all the medical providers in town to come up with some plans. Right after that, I went to a coffee shop in order to go do some charting. And I was in the coffee shop. It was kind of disheartening because everybody in there was making fun of this. They're making fun of the stores going out of food and no toilet paper. They were making fun of people not wanting to hug each other. They were making fun of people saying that this is like all conspiracy stuff. And this was not just 5 or 6 people. This coffee shop is the coffee shop I love to go to, and it was full of people doing this. And I was very disheartened because I started to think, first off, I was thinking all these medical providers are trying to get in there to help people, to be there for people, putting their family at risk. That's not a joke. That's not funny to me. I also think about all these older people that are needing to go to the grocery stores and then they can't get their food because of people hoarding and people just going and buying stuff that's unnecessary. That's not funny either. Or that people trying to take care and prevent their family from getting sick, so they're not wanting to give those high fives right now. Or some people are just feeling like, I think I am just going to stay home right now. That's not funny. And then the economical part of this. How do we do this and still be able to make a living? Because we're not going to change all this just by just little old me. And that's not funny to me either. So I like to try to stay positive with all this. I'd like for everybody to try to help us all to stay positive, that we can do this. We can do this. This is a virus, and we can all do this together. Let's just use our common sense. For right now, as much as the high fives I love, I need to hold off. As much as the hugs I love to give, I need to hold off. As much as I love to go hang out and go out, eat breakfast with buddies and stuff, I need to hold off. I need to focus on the health around my family. I need to focus on not transmitting this. I even have my nephews having a baby, and I can't go to the baby shower. It's one of those dual baby showers. I can't go because I don't know what I have. I don't want to transmit this, especially to the mother. So we have to think those common sense things. So for now, please don't get stuck up in any plans. Don't get sucked up in any type of, this is how, by this and this 6 steps that I give you, then you'll be able to prevent this. Common sense. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. I hope that this helps. I hope it helps. Just please take your time and just enjoy your loved ones. Have fun with the time that you get with them. Eat, sleep, laugh, and this will pass. I'm going to be bringing a good friend of mine, Sheila Kilbane. She's an integrative pediatrician, next week to talk about kids' health during this difficult time. And I'll give you another update when I come back and revisit in a couple of days and let you know what all has changed and if there's anything else that is proven to be effective or things that we can do in our own life. Thanks for taking the time of watching. Until we meet again.